So I just read Neuromancer by William Gibson. This is the first book I've ever read by Mr. Gibson. And it's the book that kind of kicked off the whole cyberpunk movement. Actually, it's kind of cited as the one that kind of started it all, actually. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't understand everything in this book. There are some sequences that I just don't really know what happened, or that I just didn't fully understand. And I think that's part of the charm of this book, is that, you don't fully understand everything, and yet you still enjoy yourself if you like that kind of stuff. And I feel like this is the type of book you need to come back to fully understand everything. So just a slight warning to begin the video. I'm not gonna spoil the end or anything. I'll try to be as spoiler free as possible. I might, this video might contain some mild spoilers, but not, I won't spoil anything at all. And I'll be oversimplifying things, just because it's kind of it's not that the story is not complex. It's more the world in which the story takes place is complex. So I'll be really oversimplifying some concepts here and there from the book. Mainly two things, but I'll come back to that later on, actually. So on with the story. The story is about this guy named Case, who is a cowboy. So essentially a hacker. So once again, I'm oversimplifying things. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but just for the sake of simplicity, he's a hacker essentially. He's hired to do a job by a mysterious guy called Armitage, and Armitage has this thug who her name is Molly. She is a street samurai, and she has razor implants in her hands. I don't know if it's her fingernails or fingertips, actually. But what I've pictured was her fingertips were razor, containing razors in them, and she just pulled them out or whatever. We don't know what this job is until the second half of the book. And that's where, kind of the spoiler territory are, and that's where I'm not going, actually. But because I feel like not knowing what's gonna happen is kind of the way to go in this book, because it's so it's part of the fun, it's part of the immersion. So I'm going to make a weird connection here with video games, but reading that book felt like a Soulsborne type of games, so From Software's game. I just felt like playing Dark Souls. Like the first time you play Dark Souls, you don't know what's going on, you don't understand everything. You kind of have this general feeling of what the story is or should be, but it takes multiple playthrough to really understand what's going on. I feel like this book is exactly that, and I feel like for your first playthrough of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, or whatever, you should not know too much going in, because it's part of the fun. It's the same thing here. Being thrown into this world is kind of magical, and it's something that you'll not get from further read or something, but it's a story that you need to come back to fully understand everything, just because of how the world building, of how complex the world building is, and how dense this book feels at times. It's not a long read, it's not a short read either. It's like 300 pages or so. So it's not that long of a read, but it's not a short read either. And it's dense. It has so much stuff in it. There's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of words that don't really exist to explain things that don't exist also. So it's kind of weird, and I think it's on purpose, and I really enjoy that because the world just feel richer by this, just because of not explaining. There's no glossary at the end of the book explaining what the words means, what stuff looks like. You just have to kind of figure it out by yourself, actually, which is something that I really enjoyed. So on with my oversimplifying things again. There are two main things in the book that took me a long time to figure out, actually, longer than maybe it should have. But in the book, we have something called the cyberspace, which is kind of the internet, I think. And then you have the Matrix, which is essentially VR, or if you've seen the Matrix movies, you know what the Matrix is, essentially. But yeah, it's kind of VR, actually. But yeah, once again, I'm oversimplifying things. It's just these two things. Every time I was reading these two things, I would just picture it in my mind again. Okay, cyberspace is internet. He has to connect into the internet to do his job, do his hacking job. I don't really remember why he had to plug into the Matrix. Maybe it was to talk with the AI. I think that's mainly it. Once again, I don't understand everything, unfortunately, but at the same time, it's part of the fun. I really enjoyed myself with this book, even if I didn't fully understand everything. It's, as I said, I think it's part of the experience. So I'm just going to talk about three concepts that I really enjoyed in the book. So this is the spoilery section where I'm going to talk about some stuff that happens in the book. Once again, it's not spoiling the story as a whole. It's just some tidbits here and there of mild spoilery aspect. At one point, Case is hacking, quote unquote, hacking into somebody's brain through cyberspace, because everybody has these upgrades, technical upgrades inside them. So chips in their brain, implants everywhere on their body, essentially. So you're able to hack into somebody else's brain, where in Cases, quote unquote, hacking, as I was saying, he's hacking into Molly's brain, so the thug, so the street samurai, but she knows about it and she's given him permission to do so. But it just begs the question, what if somebody's not happy with that, but they cannot do anything about it because the hacker is just that good at this job and he can just hack into your brain. So that was, and have access to all your thoughts while they're happening and your feelings and everything. That was just a cool concept in there. And so the second thing that I really enjoyed, so this part, I'm not sure if it was happening in cyberspace or in the Matrix, but the person greeting Case, either in cyberspace or in the Matrix, is dead, essentially, and he has uploaded his mind and his personality into cyberspace or into the Matrix. And yeah, he's dead, but still, quote unquote, living into that reality, into that space. And it just has kind of moral ambiguity with that, being dead. Yeah, I just really enjoyed that. I'm not going to talk into the whole philosophical aspect of that, but that's a concept that I really enjoyed. And the last concept that I really enjoyed was that everybody has plastic surgeries, because now that they are affordable and, safe, I guess, to a certain degree, everybody has them. Nobody wants to age, so, and everybody's so superficial. Everybody's beautiful, essentially. They have all these cool aspects to them, and also you have these trends of cosmetics that you have, so everybody has different styles because they're following different trends. It's something that I really enjoyed, once again, and once again we could get into the moral implications or whatever, but I really enjoyed that. And this is something that I really enjoyed from the book, because he's not trying to force you a way of, not a way, yeah, but he's not trying to force, his point of view on all these matters. He's just presenting them to you, and you just kind of pick up like what are your thoughts on said topics and whatever. I really enjoyed that from this book. There might be some commentary from the author, but I've not got them. As I said, once again, it's such a deep, complex book actually that at times it's hard to figure out exactly what the author means. And once again, I think it's on purpose. I really enjoyed that fact actually. I don't usually rate books, but for this one I would rate it 5 stars out of 5. Just I knew I would like this book, but I didn't know how much I would like it. I would enjoy myself actually. I really did. I want to read more cyberpunk stuff. I know that I like cyberpunk stuff, sorry. I want to read more stuff. I've watched Akira, I've watched The Matrix, I've read Ghost in the Shell manga. I've seen the movie with Scarlett Johansson that I kind of enjoyed. I don't remember it much, but yeah, so I really enjoyed that cyberpunk aesthetic, but also, so if you have any suggestion for cyberpunk books, I'm very open to it. Also, like biomech stuff. I'm a huge H.R. Geiger fan, huge Alien fan also. So if you have any recommendation, that would scratch that itch, please just comment, because I want to read more stuff, as I said. That's it for the review of this book though. Next I'll be talking about Silmarillion. At first I wanted to do, to talk about the Silmarillion for a month or something like this, but it's shorter than I thought it would be, and I'm reading it a bit faster than I thought I would, so I'm going to talk. It's going to take less than a month, I think, to talk about the Silmarillion and watch the Rings of Power series also. So first part of Silmarillion, I'll be making a video tomorrow. Part 2, I don't know when it's gonna come, but Rings of Power episode 1 and 2 is going to come this Saturday actually, and I'll be talking more about what's to come afterwards, because it just depends how fast I read the Silmarillion. But I want to keep these videos coming as quick as possible, because I'm enjoying myself for now in the Silmarillion, and I can't wait to talk about it actually. That's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.